my favorite book that I've read in the last
we've already started?
72 days. What a weird
I'm
way
all
to start
thrown
the
off.
episode.
Why is Andrew thrown off?
He was trying to do a book club or something, and then suddenly he stopped in the middle of it.
Because nobody showed up. Typically, Eric will show up 10 minutes before, and Nick showed up like 4 minutes before. So I feel like I'm still in pleasantries. I did not expect it to be one.
Of pleasantries.
We're only 4 minutes of pleasantries, and we're mainly
That's gonna
just
throw
talking
you.
about.
the whole podcast.
I'm 4 minutes off this whole show.
Yeah, he's gonna. We'll have to let it roll for another 4 minutes at the end, just so you can finish up. No Eric today, as a matter of fact. He let us know ahead of time. He's got to do dual duty on some other podcast or some shit. So.
Bit weird that we still do it at the same time as the other podcast.
Yeah, well, I believe that was at your insistence, right? You said you never wanted to do that other podcast again, and so you would only do this one if we scheduled it during the exact same time.
That's exactly what I said.
That is true. I remember
that. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the KFace podcast. I don't have Eric here this week. Oh, no, never mind. Nick got it to me. This is episode 108. This is season 4. Andrew, what year is this?
2022.
3.
Thank you, Gavin. You nailed it. Volume 1, the 108th episode. My name is Geoff Ramsey. With me, as always, Andrew Panton and Gavin Free. And I hope you guys are doing well today. Boy, do I we got a few things to talk about. I haven't spoken to you guys in a week. I'd love to catch up. And let me tell you, I right out of the way, I just want to get this over with out of the way. You know, I don't listen to our podcast. I try not to hear me ever if I can avoid it. I get on my nerves so fucking quick. It's unbelievable.
That's such a wild thing to say as somebody who is on 3 podcasts currently.
Yeah,
as somebody who hates podcasts you're on, you cannot stop making them.
So here's the thing. I got to make a living, right? Daddy's got to keep the lights on. But also, I think we've established at this point that the 3 podcasts I'm on are my only forms of social interaction. So it's just how I maintain my relationships with people that are important to me. And imagine if you just like recorded every conversation you had with your mom, and then like a week later you listen to the conversation you guys had after dinner on a Wednesday night. You'd be like, I sound like a fucking idiot.
Coming next month on roosterteeth.com. Geoff and his mom.
Weird. My mom and I are not. I love my mom dearly. We are not doing a podcast together. That is what we call a non-starter. Anyway, so I listened to the podcast the other day, and it was episode 106, and I don't know why. I was just in a really good mood, and I thought, let's ruin that. Let's listen to yourself. And I found it to be so charming, and I enjoyed it so much. There was a little conversation we had about buying homes, and then getting a home inspected. And then Andrew had this idea for a vibe inspector to come and check out your home and make sure the vibe fit, which I thought was so fucking funny. I laughed about it all day long. It just kept popping up in my head, and I just kept laughing about it. I asked if we could get like a vibe inspector shirt made, which really sounds kind of creepy, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's
very close to those like female body inspector shirts.
Right. Yeah, you don't
like it.
You don't want that, right? But I was thinking in the terms of like checking out a house.
Yeah.
As it was framed in our episode. Anyway, so I go through the episode, and I'm actually thinking to myself, I should listen to this more often. This isn't that bad. And then I stepped in, and I brought up the idea I had for us, and in 1 second illustrated why I am the dumbest, stupidest, most idiotic, most useless person on Earth in the year of 2022. I present the idea to you guys that everybody should pick the thing that they think they're the best in the world at, right?
Yeah, I have a nice clip for this moment.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it because I'm covering it, but it'll help. I then proceed to give you guys the 2 things that I think I'm the best in the world at as examples, and also tell you there's no way I'm the best in the world at this. This is utter bullshit. And then a week later, and I was coming off the episode, so I remembered it was fresh in my head, 107, we then have to present our homework. Clearly I forgot. clearly, even after Andrew reminded me, I didn't do it. I forgot. So I just said the first two things that popped into my head, which were my examples that were lies that I admitted were lies to the audience the week before, completely earnestly. Like suddenly I had best in the world confidence where it didn't exist the week before is the only answer I can give you. But holy shit, that's it. I can't ever listen to the podcast again, or I'll never be able to open my mouth. I'll never be able to open my mouth because I am a walking stupid contradiction.
We did some of the best, and on my part, unintentional gaslighting I've ever seen. It was so immensely impressive. Basically, what we came up with was that Geoff assigned a piece of homework, and I added onto it. And then the next time we talk about it, I'm reading the homework that I helped Geoff assign as if I'm reading it for the first time. It was, and Andrew is the only sane one in the whole thing. I've prepared a clip. Would you like to hear it?
Please.
I was infuriated last week because you guys were throwing me under the bus for the thing I had no part in. I was just trying to help you two.
This is a little clip from 107, followed by a little dreamy sound effect, and then immediately following the week before. Here we go.
We had homework in the last show.
Yeah, what's your homework? What was your homework, Andrew? Do it.
My homework, the homework you assigned for all of us was that we had to come up with what we were the best in the world at and what we thought the other members of this podcast might be the best in the world at.
I don't really understand the homework. Podcast homework reminder that we said we would think about what we are best in the world at and what we think others would be best at. But you meant other people on this podcast.
I did.
I don't even remember assigning the homework, so I don't really give a shit.
I hate you both so
This is
much.
Andrew homework.
No, this is Jeff homework.
It feels like Andrew homework.
The end of the last episode we recorded, you're like, well, homework for all of us. This is what we'll do, and we'll talk about it on the next thing. And then Gavin said,
the way you just said that, it sounds like something you would say.
You're the worst. You're both
I feel
the
like
worst.
we should all think about what we're the best in the world at. Maybe that's an angle we should take with the podcast. So should we come up with our own things that we think we're best at, or should we come up with us plus the other two?
That's
fine. I think both.
So much.
Yeah.
I literally, I can't explain the weird void that happens where as soon as I press stop on this podcast, I can't remember anything we talked about. I'm pretty well versed in KFace. Like I've listened to everyone, I've proofed everyone. I know everything that's happened while I'm recording something and everything except the previous week. There's just this weird void where I have no idea what was said because I haven't proofed it yet. It's so bizarre. I was reading it as though I'd never heard that in my life, and I said it.
Said the same thing with the pencil. That's me with the pencil. I genuinely forgot I ever said that. That started as a genuine thing.
Do you think it's protection? Do you think our brains are trying to protect us by immediately like flushing the brain toilet the second we hit stop on an episode?
If I haven't proofed the previous one at the time of a recording, it doesn't exist to me, and I can't explain why.
Totally agree.
Can I talk about why I'm an idiot in relation to this? So I have a whole other layer of why I'm the dumbest person in the world. Gavin in the KFace Slack yesterday said, hey, when is the preview out for the episode that will come out this upcoming week, which they've heard by now. But you wanted the preview because you said you needed to grab something from it.
Yeah, I was grabbing that.
Historically, it's always been weaponized against me. There's only one other time I could think of when it wasn't aimed at me, and it was Jeff's fucking up an ad by spelling the wrong word.
Yeah,
and I'm doing the ads.
Why you gotta bring that up?
It can't be you spelling. So I was like, it's just me, I guess. I was convinced. I texted Gavin last night, so what are you going to use against me? And his silence was deafening. I was convinced that he had something lined up for me. He replied this morning. I'm like, oh, I can play that game too. I ain't going to reply. And I'm going to just say some bullshit in our Slack saying, could you please pull audio from Geoff in this random episode and Gavin in this one? I had no audio pulled.
Oh, that was fake?
Yeah, that was fake because I was paranoid that you guys had something. So I was trying to flip it. I was trying to make you paranoid about what I might had. But it's the first time your fucking audio is on my side. It's pro me.
Yeah,
guys,
you're aligned with me.
I would happily use audio against you, but I was listening to that last week and I just thought, I have to bury myself. I have to use this audio against me and Geoff because it is horrendous.
I appreciate it because I felt like a crazy person last week when you guys were like, this is some bullshit homework by you. You're throwing it all on me. I didn't care if we did it. I was just trying to be supportive.
So now the funny thing there is I was totally just fucking with you. Like,
Oh,
I remembered assigning the homework and all that at that point. I just assumed Gavin was along for the gag. I just thought we were both in on the joke.
I'm just extremely unintelligent.
So Gavin, you're an idiot that way. I have zero integrity, and I'm just a bald-faced liar. And then Andrew, you're back to you're in a new paranoid era, which is scary. Because I do not want, I'll be honest, guys, I do not want to go back into a new age of paranoia with face. It was too much.
Oh, but that sounds like such a great subtitle for a season. The New Age of Paranoia, season 5.
So
Face.
I was really excited. Andrew in the Slack wrote, this is super short notice, so if it's not possible, no worries. But could someone pull something Gavin said in episode 98? I also need something Geoff said in 101. I like that you just are so vague. Like there's no time codes, and I'm just like, and now I'm slightly disappointed that you got no audio weapon.
My hope was that maybe one of you would listen to it and try to find the thing. Like that was my long shot, would be funny, but I was just trying to create paranoia because I was convinced what you had would be used against me in some capacity. What a waste. I didn't need to do that. I'm sorry, Nick.
God damn.
I immediately reached out to Nick and was like, nah, I don't need anything. I'm just being dumb. Mind games.
I love that we have one bit that was honestly not even a good bit. A fucking 5-minute bit that turned into 3 separate instances of us being idiots. Ay.
Well, you never know where the good bits will be, because I'm going to be honest with you. When you said, let's all make salads, internally I was like, I don't know why we're doing this, but I'll do it because you want to. I support this. And we went salad cream. I fucked that up in a whole, or was that unrelated to the salad? Was that a side? How much salad content have we made? Was that adjacent? Was that salad cream content that became salad content, or was that part of the make your salad content?
You're going way too far back in the vault for me.
That's fair.
Gavin, you pretend to remember stuff. What do you think? Wow.
Nick says it was separate.
What was that? Gavin, are you okay?
We lost
like
you there.
7-second, there was silence, like you're waiting for Nick's approval. That's very weird. Please keep that in, Nick. That was a very strange, long.
Yeah, I just assumed Gavin dropped.
I thought you had a connection issue.
It was pretty long, wasn't it?
Even Nick
It
admits
was
long.
so
Nick was scared. Oh. God, speaking of scared,
go ahead.
Gavin, should you and I talk about how the universe is scared that you and I will ever spend any time together?
They're back at it. It's not the weather this time, though.
Oh,
God. Damn it! I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast yet, or in personal conversations, Andrew. But Gavin and I, and our significant others, his girlfriend Meg and my girlfriend Emily, we had all decided we've been talking for months and months and months about going to Las Vegas together and having a weekend in Vegas together, and we finally fucking scheduled it. And so we were gonna and it was for this weekend, right? So, it was the way I had it scheduled, or I had it set up, is because it's the NBA Finals. Emily and I were going to get up first thing Friday morning, and we were going to fly to Boston, and then Friday night we were going to watch Game 4 of the Finals as my birthday present from Emily. She was going to get us awesome seats, and I would get to watch the Celtics play in the Finals, which is like a dream come true for me, and I've only got to do it once before in my life, and that was with Jack. So talk about an upgrade, getting to see it with Emily, and then we were going to go to bed and then get up first thing Saturday morning and fly to Las Vegas and meet Gavin and Meg in Las Vegas. I was so excited for this. We were going to spend 2 days together. We got hotels rooms in the same place. We were going to do I thought they came up with this clever idea where we're going to do one thing they really want to do, one thing we want to do. So Emily got tickets to see Shin Lim and go to a magic show so I could heckle, and then, which is what I want to do. And she likes magic. And then Gavin and Meg wanted to go do some escape rooms. So we were going to go do that. And it was just it was shaping up to be the perfect weekend. And then last night, Emily tested positive for COVID.
No!
I couldn't believe it.
No!
Because the universe was like, whoa, wait a minute. Who's going to have fun with who? No. No, fuck you. Fuck you, is what the universe said.
I was literally like, wow, I'm actually looking forward to a trip for the first time that, there isn't a work trip or me going to see my family. It's this is a real vacation trip. I can't believe, oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's and I know, and Emily is heartbroken, obviously, and I feel terrible for her, and she feels so guilty for getting COVID, which is, totally not her fault because everybody seems to get it at some point or other. But it's kind of luckily I was telling Emily, the universe has been aware of me for long enough that stuff getting canceled no longer affects me. It's like, okay, whatever, I get it. Just me stepping in shit in the backyard again. No problem. It's just the new version of that, right? I'm supposed to be in the shit, of course, right? And so it's no big deal to me. I'm just like, we'll get him next time, champ. But she was pretty heartbroken about it, and I hope that we can do it again in the future. But maybe we can't like plan an episode or something. Like we can't let on to the universe that we're trying to spend time together.
Not to go too far back, but how you framed that just gave me a thought that I've never had before. You said what did you wanted to see a magic show, and what was the other thing?
Escape rooms.
No, that was Gavin's thing. You said tooth. I thought you said tooth.
Oh, I want to heckle the magician.
Oh, I see. So your thing was magicians.
Yeah.
And the thing that Gavin and Meg were excited about were traveling to a place to get locked into a room that you have to try to leave from.
With your
wits. The premise of an escape. Like, I know they're fun. They're great, but like the idea of like having the first escape room and trying to convince somebody that's fun feels like a real exercise. Because the premise is you go to a place, I'm going to lock you in this room and you're not going to be able to immediately leave. You're going to have to try to solve clues to leave this space. Have fun.
Especially
you're going to pay me for this.
Considering, at least in my mind, the genesis of this whole escape room craze was from that movie, The Cube, where people just woke up in a cube and then they had to get out, and every time they tried, they died. Like, it's such a dark beginning. I was looking forward to it, though. I like escape rooms.
Yeah.
I think they're a blast.
Oh, they're great.
Meg was really looking forward to the magician. And I had to, because magic, she loves it. It makes her cry for some reason. She explained it. But I had to warn her about the fact that the experience of seeing a magician with Geoff is going to be a completely different experience. No. With his, how?
I just get into it, man. You just gotta like.
That's what
Listen, I've performed on stage. Performers feed off of energy. You want to give good energy. You want them to know you're entertained and amazed by what they're doing.
I know you share a deep fandom for Norm Macdonald, Geoff. Have you ever seen the compilation of him when he was hosting the YouTube Comedy Festival with like Sarah Silverman was there? I don't remember who his co-hosts were, but they had a magician come on as like one of the acts. That guy is a Netflix show. I don't remember his name now, but he did this trick where like he put this giant glass into a box and it exploded, was like the trick. And it cut one of the hosts. It was a disaster. And it explodes. And Norm Macdonald's response was to say, "This guy's a fucking sorcerer." Like, he got so nervous about it. It was so funny. It was great. That's what it sounds like what your experience is. It's so fucking funny. You just hear me say, you got cut. That's what happens when you put a fucking sorcerer on set. What do we expect?
I have not seen
a wizard here. It's great. I'll send it to you.
I'll say I am halfway through with his posthumous special that's on Netflix right now, and I had to turn it off because it was making me cry.
Was it sad?
Yeah. It's just like, it's just him like the night before, I think, a surgery, and he was like, I got to get all this out just in case, and then he looks very ill, and he's very sweet and very funny, and he's just going off the top of his head, and there's no audience or no crowd, so it's a bit awkward at times, but more than anything, you just see in this what appears to someone who didn't know him as a gentle brilliance and in just such a fragile state. It was just really, really kind of heartbreaking.
And it didn't kill him then, did it? He died much later than that.
He died over about a year after that, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Because I got to see him at the theater in town, and it's like one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. And I would constantly, ever since that point, I probably saw that in like 2014, I would constantly look at their schedule and be like, oh, is he going to come into town? Like, that would be so exciting. He's one of my favorite comedians. And I recently, like a week ago, went on the website just to see what it is. It's always all cover bands. It's terrible. The booking is awful. It's just cover bands. But I had this weird realization, even though he's been dead for quite a while, there was still part of me that was like, oh, maybe I'll see him. Oh, I can't, like, that'll never happen again. It was a weird processing of like, he's gone.
Yeah, you were lucky enough to see him as such a small window of overlap in your lives.
Exactly. And it's a strange thing. I don't know if I'll watch that. I have like a weird thing where if there's an artist or like a creative type that I like, I really struggle with finishing their last work.
Oh, yeah.
Like the idea of knowing that I have that, like whenever I want to, is almost more impactful to me than if I saw it. I had the same with Patrice O'Neill, where I've like never seen his special, but I just thought his earlier work was so funny, conversationally at least.
I completely agree with you. There are two series that like touched me so intensely in some way that I never finished them on purpose. And that, I mean, they're silly, but Schitt's Creek, I am halfway through the last season of Schitt's Creek and I just don't want to finish it because I don't want it to be over. And season 3 of Ash vs. Evil Dead, because I have been a fan of Evil Dead since I was a kid and I grew up with it, and it's so charming and so well done that I just don't want to see it be over. You know? And so I don't know that I'll ever watch them because I just like knowing that they're out there if I ever want to, you know? I'd rather have that than know what I'm missing in some ways.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that. Even in like silly, I think like the funniest one is I have a clip of I forget his last name, but the Celtics play-by-play guy, Mike, what's his last name, Geoff?
Mike Gorman?
Mike Gorman, yeah. I've got like he did like a immemorial thing to Tommy Heinsohn that I just have never watched because I like having that because they were such an important, iconic duo, even though I didn't get to see too much of their coverage. Like they called games for, I'd assume, over 20 years. Felt like they did it for like 70 years. It just felt like they were pillars of eternity for that team. It's interesting how those pieces of media can impact you.
Gavin, do you share any experiences like that?
But where I don't want to watch someone's end, the final piece of their work?
Sure.
You don't want it to be over?
I've never really looked at it from that point of view. I feel like it's quite interesting. Like I would watch the Norm thing, but yeah, it is sad. But I feel like comedy and tragedy, they go so well together, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
For sure.
Absolutely. It's interesting when Norm passed, like thinking about how much his comedy, I think, has impacted Face, like indirectly. I think just through what at least I find funny.
Yeah.
Influenced by him.
I went on an absolute YouTube binge after he died of just all of his late night appearances and SNL stuff, and he just never gave a singular shit at any point. And it's so, you got to respect it. I don't think anyone has done it to that extent throughout and kept an entire career going.
One other person who's also dead now, unfortunately, and that was Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, they both. Just like it is. I mean, they really are like the prototype for what Face is, right? It's like just two people that are so entertained by the thing that they're doing that it doesn't matter if it's detrimental to them or their career in any way. They're going to go up there and do it. Gilbert Gottfried is going to go up there when he's on tour with the Go-Go's, and they come to him, and the producers come to him and say, listen, this is a family-friendly show. These are a bunch of like 12-year-old girls watching that want to see the Go-Go's sing Vacation. And you can't get up there and talk about anal. And he's like, okay, got it. And goes worse, you know, because he doesn't have a choice. Like it's like
he doesn't want to. It's just, that is now the funniest choice. Like you have to do.
Yeah. It's like, there's like some sort of a invisible force pulling you towards a self-destructive joke.
Yeah. It's great to even just like with Norm, especially for me, like you constantly hear new stories and it's like the content, even though he's not producing new stuff, you learn different aspects. I was listening to a thing recently and this person talked about how when Norm was starting in like Canada as a comedian, he would bomb all the time because his style was very specific and it didn't work in a lot of rooms. And if he bombed, he would stay, like if he did well, he would kind of just leave immediately. But if he bombed, he'd stay in the green room the entire night. And then he'd go to the exit when everybody finished and he'd make everybody shake his hand on the way out. He didn't give a fuck if he did well, but if he did horribly, just for the awkward exchange, he would shake everybody's hand. So good. He's a legend.
I had to register a new phone number recently.
Yeah?
And I had it was like the first time I've ever been able to like pick a phone number. Like you just like type in numbers and see if it's available.
Holy shit, you got to do that?
Then I was like, oh, I bet there's like websites for this. And I found a website that just sells numbers. I assume they just like buy up all these vanity phone numbers and stuff. And I found one with a 778 area code, which I think is BC in Canada. I think it's one of those ones. And I found, Andrew, your ultimate phone number.
You did? What's the number? Oh, let me move my fucking Discord. 778 pancake?
And it's $2,000.
That's too much.
That's
too much.
I think we should get the Eric's credit card.
No, we need.
I think that should be your phone number.
When will this air? Nick, what day will this come out? Can we talk about this thing? The thing that we bleeped 2 weeks from now? Is that that should be fine? The 20th. Yeah, it's fine. I found out recently that that is essentially what it's predicted to go at 2000.
Yeah.
I'd much rather than 778 pancake. As good as 778 pancake is. That's fucking great.
Why not both?
So are you in the process of changing your phone number and then not telling us?
No, it's like a business line.
Oh, okay.
778 pancake would be so good.
If you're interested in high-speed photography, call the slow-mo guys at 778 pancake.
I watched, maybe you'll remember the name to this, Geoff, because it was like a big 90s movie of Sandra Bullock. It's where she's like a hacker. She's a computer hacker. The Net. I watched The Net like a week ago, and she goes on a website called pizza.net, and I've never wanted anything more to exist. I was so disappointed to put in pizza.net and have it does not exist. We need
how much is it?
Pizza. I have no idea. I don't even think it's for sale. It's just like this domain doesn't exist. She orders a pizza from pizza.net, and it just comes to her house. It's great.
That's the one with like Mozart's ghost or whatever, right?
Yeah, it is. It's Mozart's ghost. Yeah, she like gets her thing hacked. She's a hacker, and she I don't know. It's a dumb movie. It's 90s internet cringe in the best way.
So we agree we're gonna get right. Like this is already
we have to, and that's why I'm so mad that Eric is here, because I independently made an account on that website, and I just got an email from them saying like, yeah, you need to send in a proof of address. With an ID, like you need to properly register, and it took like 6 days for that process to go through.
We're gonna have to go through you.
We need to get
it's actually it's like Andrew and I have had an idea about a thing we want to do someday, and it's pretty important to that idea. So I feel like we need this. Is integral to the future of Face. We need to get this thing.
Yeah, I would love for us to record. It's on like 8 a.m. that day, Pacific, 10 for you guys. I think it'd be so much fun.
Are we talking
I don't...
They say it's...
Let me pull up the link. I think it just... The way it's phrased is like, this is the only one.
Will it fit any of us, do you think?
I don't...
Dude.
I think it could fit you. I could see it on you. It says this consists of an actate and matching with metal... Exhibits wear, including a pair of harness holes on the side by.
Can you say that word, that second word you said again? Did you say act? Can you say actate?
I have no idea what that word is. I have no clue. ACETATE.
I just curious. I had never heard the word actate before, and I assumed.
Oh, can I call some? Gavin knows about this. I have a friend. Speaking of pronouncing words incorrectly, my friend God. Jake. One of my favorite bits recently is I learned that Jake thinks he pronounces the word Tums Tombs. And so for like weeks now, he says Tombs. Whenever anyone asks what's Tums is, so we've been loading him up to say Tombs constantly. I'm going to call him. Put him on
He got this to work the other night on Halo, and I could not believe it.
Gavin lost it. He genuinely thinks the word Tums is Tombs.
What is Tums? Like a soother of the stomach sort of thing?
Yeah. Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
Should we be quiet?
Yeah, I don't know. Why isn't he picking up? This is
antacid, according to Nick.
Yeah, no shit.
I'll try calling him one more time.
Everybody fucking knows what Tums is.
He doesn't seem to get it. He thinks Gavin has such a funny line where he's like, "What does he think? Do you have a tummy ache?" He just doesn't. He doesn't get it. Hello. Wait. Hey, Jake.
Oh God.
No. Why are you upset? I'm having like I'm having like I have like some anxiety, like heartburn. What is the thing you take for it? I think it starts with
anxiety. That's not.
No, but I got like heartburn and you know like I need like an anti-acid type thing. What is the
Tomb?
What is it? Sorry.
Tombs?
Okay, thank you so much. I'll talk to you later.
Are you okay?
Love you, Jake. So he thinks it's Tombs.
He's gonna listen to this one.
Tombs. Yeah, Jake listens to this podcast. I'll tell him beforehand that he was on the show. So if you hear that wonderful Tombs audio, that has been, I had to have a conversation with the people I regularly play games with of like, are we okay to sacrifice Tombs? Because it has brought laughter to our life for weeks. Feeding him Tombs.
Jesus.
Tombs.
This like for an entire summer, I had Millie convinced they were flop flips, not flip flops, and I was like, "You sound so weird when you say it that way. Where did somebody at school fire you?" And we went all over Hawaii and back, and the whole time she was saying flop flips. Yeah.
Flop flips.
But she's not, 26 or however old Jake is.
No, Jake's like 30. Jake is 30, walking around saying Tombs.
To be fair, why would he ever answer the phone between the hours of 3 and 4 Central on a Thursday?
Yeah, I talked to him for a minute before I did this, and I said I have to go film this podcast. So you should know better.
I like that you used the same method to get him to say it as you did last time.
I did.
Like, on Halo, you said the exact same thing. Like you had heartburn, and he still went for it. He must be thinking like, why doesn't he remember? It's so easy. Yeah.
We had a conversation recently that we need to change our approach, or else he is going to catch on if we all have heartburn every day and are constantly asking what we need to take for it. I love Jake. Tombs. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like leaving your keys in your car while you run into the gas station for a snack. Most of the time you're probably fine, but what if you come back to see someone driving off with your car? Why does everyone need a VPN? Every time you connect to an unencrypted network like cafes, hotels, or airports, any hacker on the same network can gain access to your personal data, passwords, financial details, all that stuff. It doesn't take much technical knowledge to hack someone. Just some cheap hardware is needed. A smart 12-year-old could do it. Your data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person selling personal info on the dark web. Why use ExpressVPN? It has an encrypted tunnel. It creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. Hackers can't steal your sensitive data. Super secure. It'd take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. Easy to use. Fire up the app, and in one click, everything's protected. Works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go. I recently used ExpressVPN to watch the Spelling Bee. It was only streaming in the US from what I could see, and I love the Spelling Bee. It's one of my favorite events to watch every year, so being able to easily access it because of ExpressVPN was awesome. This is more about security, this read, but being able to access other countries' libraries of content, so cool. It's fantastic, and it's so simple to use. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/face. That's expressvpn.com/face, and you can get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/face. If you are a current or past smoker, you understand how difficult quitting is, and that's why you've got to check out Fume. Fume is the natural inhaler designed for a better, safer, and natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, and no nicotine replacement for the hands-to-mouth habit of smoking. Fume handcrafts wooden inhalers and uses cores infused with plant oils studied to curb cravings. They have flavors like peppermint and conker with minty notes to simulate menthol cigarettes, and other flavors like cozy chai and lemon berry bliss for a sweeter experience. And all of their flavors are 100% natural. No harmful chemicals, no artificial flavors, and absolutely no nicotine. Quitting is tough, but Fume really can't help. They've got thousands of 5-star reviews from smokers who have tried everything else and this worked. Also, if you're somebody who travels all the time as the world begins to open up more, it's amazing to have with you. Being able to have it with you in the air and in the airport is a huge difference maker. Whether you're a smoker or ex-smoker who still struggles with cravings, Fume is the perfect tool for you. Head to breathefume.com/face and use promo code FACE to save 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order when you head to breathefum.com/face and use code FACE. The time for spring cleaning is upon us. Do more than just dust your cabinets and organize your closets. Spring clean your butthole with Hello Tushy bidets. After wiping with dry, scratchy toilet paper all winter long, our bums could use a serious refresh. Put your cleanest booty forward and start washing with Hello Tushy. Hello Tushy is an amazing product. It's a fantastic bidet. It's so easy to install. It's made a tremendous difference in my bathroom experience. Stop spreading your business around your butthole with toilet paper. Start washing with Hello Tushy bidets. The Hello Tushy bidet attachment washes your bum with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper. Simply spray and pat dry. Attaches to your existing toilet, no electrician or plumber needed. Installs in less than 8 minutes. Cuts down your TP use by 80%, saving money and paper waste. Make the restroom your best room with the complete Tushy system, including the Tushy bidet attachment, ottoman, and toilet brush. Hello Tushy has cleaned over 1 million happy bums. Join them and take care of your business the cleaner way. We want all of our listeners to have clean bums. Visit hellotushy.com/face to get 10% off plus free shipping right now. Tag us and @HelloTushy on social media so we can celebrate your clean butt with you. That's hellotushy.com/face for 10% off. I have a thing that we should talk about. So people, because I saw some misunderstanding of a thing, and it's fair.
Ooh.
No, it's a fair misunderstanding. We need to talk about the Groan tubes, because we're all very excited about them. People are excited about them.
You mean this?
You mean this?
Wait, did they send you those? Because I would like one, but I need to clear. Okay, I don't know if they would send me one because it's RTX. It's launching RTX.
I sent you a video the day I got it.
I know you did, but I didn't know if you like grabbed it. Like I didn't know how you got that, or if they mailed it to you.
I'm sure they're probably mailed it to you as well.
Cool,
So
awesome.
I haven't gotten it.
So they're launching at RTX, but they will be available online for everybody after the event. We just want the idea was we wanted to annoy as many people as possible. So they're going to drop on the event. We're putting as much inventory as we can there so we can have as many Groan tubes in a contained space because that would be horrendous for everybody there.
Do you remember a couple years ago during the World Cup when everybody got excited about vuvuzelas?
Yes, exactly.
What the fuck it's called. We're trying to recreate that magic at RTX this year.
Exactly. Yeah. So I felt it was important to clarify. In the merch meeting we had, somebody said it perfectly, where everybody who wants one will get one. So they're launching at RTX, but they will be online too. So if you're unable to attend that event, you'll be able to go.
You're like a war general, like sending all of the troops to one place. It's like there's no room for any online. We're sending everything to RTX first. We need fire everything.
Well, it's I don't know. I'm assuming KFace doesn't have a panel, considering you and I won't be there, Gavin. Sadly.
I don't know if that's true. It might just be me and Eric. I'll have to check.
It's just you and Eric. That's great. Please record a whole room full of people if there is a panel doing the Groan tube at once. I need to hear it.
It'll just be an hour of that.
Oh, that's what I want.
It's like when people
we'll
at concerts get everyone to turn on their phone light and wave them at the same time. It's
exactly.
We're going to have so many people, our tubes will groan out the sun. It's going to be amazing.
When we eventually have our show in Vegas, I just love the idea of people having to travel with their Groan tube, like having to bring it, like in uniform.
BYOT.
Yeah. Groan tube.
Oh, I wonder if it would qualify for, like, you can't travel with liquid containers and stuff. What's the volume of our Groan tube?
Oh no, I'm sure it'll be fine. Can you imagine? So loud. Can you imagine like trying to declare a fuck stick? Like, it'd be great. I want to have to write that.
So a dildo? No, goodness no.
No,
That's ridiculous. This isn't sexual at all. It's a
would
fuck
never.
stick. It's totally different. Oh man, I never thought after the saga of the porta potty tiki mugs, I never thought we would have another piece of merchandise that was as complicated to get made and take as long. But boy, did the Groan tubes not disappoint.
Talking about the porta potty. Just to clarify, are you gonna be home, Geoff, for your birthday? Are you gonna? It's depending on Emily, I assume.
Well, my birthday is a Sunday, so mail doesn't deliver on Sundays typically here in America. Why do you ask?
I was just curious if you're going to be in the city or not. If you're,
I'll be in the city. I'm gonna be in town. I'm gonna go swimming on my birthday.
Good. Okay.
I'll be in Austin.
Awesome.
Ready to accept whatever hell you are about to unleash on me.
No, never. I just want to make sure. I got worried. If you're in Vegas, I would have to make some calls after we finish this recording.
Well, I don't think that there's any danger of me being in Vegas anytime soon. Poor Emily.
Meowwolf is in Vegas, right?
Yeah,
That's a Vegas
there are 5. So there are or will be 5 Meowwolf locations. Santa Fe is the original, and then Vegas and Denver opened up a couple years ago, and then now they're opening 2 in Texas, but not in Austin.
We got to try that Gerple drink because I think all the people that I think that's there. I just connected that when we're in Vegas for our show. We gotta get some Gerples.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
That sounds great. Excited. The show that I'm apparently not going to attend.
I'll be blown away if you're there, Andrew.
I'm 100% going to be there. I cannot wait to collect my $20 from Jack. It's going to be fantastic. Anybody else who wants to put wagers in, I'll gladly take them.
Nick wrote, by the way, so I think I could squeeze into that.
I think you could fit. And I think the harness, I just really, I want more clothing with harness holes. You never know when you need them.
Maybe I could get lowered from the ceiling at the Vegas event.
I'm gonna write down to talk to Eric about.
I'll tell you this, Andrew. If you buy me a bunch of delicious Cosmic Crisp apples for my birthday and they show up, I'm not going to take one bite out of one, throw it in a river, and then dump the rest in a trash can on the way out.
Who did that?
Oh, I don't know.
Was that Gavin?
No, it was Eric.
Move? Oh, Eric did it. I see. So you said on the water, and since he's a near the water guy, I didn't associate.
Well,
that
we were
with him.
he threw it in the water. We were on the boat.
Oh.
Got it. They had Cosmic Crisps in the grocery flyer where I get my groceries from this week.
Oh, yeah?
I was very excited. Made my week. It's a lucky week this week.
I didn't realize that now we have cemented that people are going to notify us, I suspect for the rest of our individual lives, about every new Apple drop that comes out from here
I don't
on.
hate it.
I don't hate it either. I don't hate it either.
I'm a fan of it.
It's like subscribing to a newsletter you forgot you subscribed to.
It is.
Every once in a while, they just like hit you up with like, hey, there's a new yellow apple. Looks good.
Like a division to thank me later. News feeds.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great idea. I was going to say, because Eric's not here, we should do something we would never do while he's here, and we should all say one nice thing about him because he'll never hear it. So, but then I don't know. But then I got annoyed with him for not being here for things. So maybe I don't want to say nice stuff about him.
I really feel like that was a conversation for you to have before we recorded. It feels like you're torn between ideas.
Well, I didn't have a lot of choice. You were going on about your book club.
My book club.
Yeah,
That's fair. There was the lack of pleasantries. We're all thrown off from the lack of pleasantry talk.
What's that, Andrew? What's the best book you've read in the last 72 days?
I don't think I've read a book. Maybe like the game manual for Fast and Furious Crossroads, I guess, if we want to call that a book.
I don't think you can call that a book.
Yeah, then I don't think I've read a book in the last 72 days.
Why did you ask us if we'd read a book in the last 72 days? Why is that
Because it's just pleasantry talk. No, it's just being silly. It was just
Why
silly,
72?
see where it goes. There's no reason. It was a completely random number. Why did I pick number 101 for like the episode to pull audio for Geoff or whatever? Just random.
Huh.
Zero logic went into it. Can I talk about one of my favorite events that I wish I would have talked about last week that happened? I missed out.
Oh,
The NBA Finals started on the same night as the greatest sporting event of the year, the Scripps National Spelling Bee. And boy, was it a barn burner.
Did you pick a kid?
I picked a kid. My favorite tradition continued. There's one person in our league who picked a child who is... I'm the Vancouver child picker. The person that consistently takes the first kid eliminated got eliminated first once again. It was great. The disappointment, it was fantastic. My kid, I think, placed 5th. It was a wild show, Gavin. There was a woman, this child, was eliminated, and she left the stage, and then 10 minutes later, they said, actually, we fucked up. You can come back. You're back in this competition.
Oh, so there's like a misspelling that was actually spelled correctly?
No, it was like so the second round is they give you have to guess the definition of a word. So they'll tell you what it is, and they'll give you 3 options. And technically how they phrased it, 2 of the 3 would be correct. And she picked one that they didn't view as correct, but upon review, they're like, you could make the argument that that was a correct answer. So she got to come back. The show opened with a kid got an answer wrong in the round before. His parents disputed it, and they decided he could enter the over. His parents were very upset about it, Gavin. And so they decided if he could spell one word correctly before the show started, he could then enter the finals. So it opened with a spelling of a kid trying to get in, and he got it. I'm so glad. It would be so embarrassing to fuck that word up like as the show was starting. And you're just, you're double eliminated.
That car ride home.
Oh, it'd be so awkward. Because he kind of had vibes of, I'm not super into this, but my parents love this. His dad was so fucking pumped when he made it into the finals. He got it right. So the girl got eliminated. She came back. It went into the very first spell off, the scripts spell off. So there's an overtime round. It's like penalty kicks where each kid goes up and they have to spell as many words as they can in 90 seconds. So like they feed them a word and then they have to spell it and they hit a buzzer and it goes to the next word and they just go back and forth. And it is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Oh shit.
Speed spelling is wild.
And didn't the person who got kicked out and then brought back in win?
She won it all. The girl that kicked out, she's unstoppable. Every time she'd come to the stage, I was making Terminator noises. You could not terminate her. She would not go down. She was dun 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 every time, and she would just nail words. They got to that spell off. It was like she didn't breathe.
Do you remember any of the words?
26 words. Oh, not even close. You think I fucking know these words when I can't even say acetate or whatever the fuck that word was? I don't know. I don't know 6-letter words.
I watched the spell off, Gavin, and I'd never heard of any of those words ever before. And Andrew's not wrong. She had like the focus of a swan. She was locked in.
Like a swan looking at your back.
Yeah. She had yeah.
So what was the word that with the definition that they gave her back on?
I don't remember. It was like something like, it was a group of bees. It meant like, I think the definition was, it was like a group of a certain animal type, and they had 2 different animals listed, and she picked the wrong animal. And they're like, no, the correct answer is bee, it's bees, not geese. And they're like, well, technically you can make the case that geese would also fall under. It's a weird like technicality thing.
Like a murder of crows.
Like, yes. Those are great. I love those, what you call specific animal groups. Murder of crows is a good one.
How does that get decided?
I mean, how do we decide any word? We've had this talk before.
What would it be if podcasters were a group, like coming towards you? What could you call it?
Just unfortunate. General population? I don't know. Seems like everyone has a podcast.
A general population of podcasters?
A general population.
No, it'd be like is now a group of podcasters are coming out of you, or podcast audiences come?
Like if all the 3 of us were coming towards you, what would the flock term be?
It'd be a regulation of podcasters.
Oh, regulation podcaster? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
A regulation. They would be a regulation.
That's what I said. A regulation of podcasters.
Yeah, you're right. I misheard. Nailed it. Podcast levers, Nick says.
We're stupid.
I appreciate you coming up with regulation, Geoff, because I was trying and I just couldn't find it. I did my best. I was looking for it. I thought ad readers were okay, but it's like, But a regulation is such a better natural fit. You found
I wonder if that applies to any other animal.
What do you mean? There's
a regulation.
Oh, you think there's a group of animals called a regulation?
Yeah.
List of animals.
Like a regulation of buffalo or something.
If it was gonna, like, it obviously doesn't, but if it was going to, what animal do you think it would be?
Ooh.
What's like the most bog standard animal?
I hate that. With the amount of time I've spent with you, my brain said the exact same thing. Internally, I just said that. And I fucking hate, because there's no way that I'm naturally saying that. I've just spent too much time with you. Bog standard.
Like, what animal do you think of if you think of an animal?
Well,
Elephant?
I think. See, I was thinking large too, in kind of the same area. I think it's funnier if it's like an animal you don't see often, like a regulation of giraffes.
The regulation of giraffes isn't bad. The first thing that came to my mind, and I feel pretty good about, is a regulation of dolphins.
I was also thinking dolphins.
I'm a water guy.
Yeah. Regulation of dolphins.
Yeah, I immediately went to land. I feel like land is the standard, but I guess there is more water than land on Earth.
Well,
so
I
maybe,
think water is the standard, buddy.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm turning around to it.
A group of goldfish is apparently called a troubling, which is great.
That's what we would be.
Yeah.
What would you call two clusters of goldfish?
Troublings? What?
Double trouble, Andrew.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't make that joke. That was one I was happy that I missed.
First time I've ever thought this, but should we end the podcast early after that?
Double trouble?
I think if that's where we are, maybe we...
A double troubling of goldfish?
I like flamingo as a flamboyance, a group of flamingos, flamboyance. Coyotes are a band of coyotes. That's fucking cool.
This is where Eric, if he was here, would be yelling at us to stop just reading stuff off the internet.
This is part of the show. I don't know.
Nick said that is cool. So I think Nick's in.
I want to be in a band. A swarm. It's for bees. Yeah, I mean, there's some shit ones, but caterpillars are an army of caterpillars.
Who decides these?
I don't know. That's a great question. Who does decide these?
I wonder how many caterpillars is required for an army.
Yeah.
Because when you say army, it makes you think hundreds. Like in columns.
Yeah. I think of like there needs to be a set of tiers. Like you need a general. You could have 5 people, and if one of them's like a general and a sergeant, I think you're an army.
Yeah, I don't think caterpillars are like a hive mind. I assume there's a hierarchy there, that there's a lead caterpillar, right? It's not like ants. And even then, ants have a queen, right?
I think the great play of if you refer to yourself as an army, there is an implied largeness that doesn't have to be there. Like if we said we are an army, people would assume there's more of us when there might not be. That just might be a good strategic decision. Caterpillars maybe just want to seem bigger than they are.
How many
We're everywhere.
in an army?
Or there can't be. You think there's a clear line? I'd be shocked if there was like a definitive number.
Yeah, this is useless.
It would be useless.
Okay, so the dictionary definition of army is an organized military force equipped for fighting on land. So really, if you could organize 2 people, I think 2 people could technically be an army. As long as they're on land. There wouldn't be dolphins. No such thing as an army of dolphins.
That's a great point. That would be terrifying, though. Isn't that a movie? There's a movie about that, right? An army of dolphins? Or is it one... There's a movie where the dolphin is trying to assassinate a president. That's a movie. But I don't know if that's an army.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's I didn't make that up, I don't think. Dolphin assassinate president movie. They like train a dolphin to kill the president. The Day of the Dolphin.
Oh, I was
movie.
hoping so much that was a dream.
Marine biologists Jake and Maggie Terrell have for many years been doing dolphin research in Florida Keys and have even coached some dolphins to speak primitive English. But when 2 of the dolphins are kidnapped, an investigation proves that the Terrell's financial backers, the Franklin Foundation, have had a sinister intention all along. The dolphins are to be used to deliver and detonate explosive beneath the president's yacht. That's right.
What is this movie called?
The Day of the Dolphin.
The Day... All right, hold on. The Day of the Dolphin.
Could you imagine deciding
add it to a list
that the tagline of a movie is unwittingly he trained a dolphin to kill the president of the United States? That's what you're going to put on there?
Dude, it's got George C. Scott in it. It's got Patton in it. Oh, that's amazing. Stream. Where are we going to watch this and make a video out of it? Oh, we can watch it on Amazon Prime.
Perfect. We'll add it to, we're watching MVP 2. What's the other one? I think we agreed on a different movie recently as well.
MVP 2, Day of the Dolphin.
There's something else.
Well, there was discussion of Anaconda.
There was. That's a great movie.
I don't know if it was
to do that.
I honestly, I think Lake Placid is a better version of that movie. I'd rather see
really?
Lake Placid. Yeah.
There's only one part of Lake Placid I really enjoy, and it's the fact that there's a character in it that is like a specialist in alligators or whatever, and he sets all these traps up, and only one of the main characters keeps stepping in them. Like, it never actually impacts the character, and it's like a running gag throughout the movie that this one guy gets stuck in 6 of his traps, and there's no, like, payoff to it. It's just this thing that keeps happening throughout the film, and I really enjoy that. It's a dumb movie.
It's great.
It's like...
It's Alligator Anaconda.
Yeah, but I feel like to a lesser extent, like I think Anaconda is more schlocky than Lake Placid. Lake Placid is dumb. Anaconda is schlocky.
I'll say this, Lake Placid has Betty White in it.
It does. It is true. The legend. I wonder who won that contest. And I wonder if they regret running that contest. I talked about on the show before.
Oh.
She died
She
so
definitely
shortly
died.
after that.
Oh, yeah.
It was like to celebrate her 100th, which I don't think she reached, sadly.
She was so close.
She was so close.
She was so close. I have a question about when you tell a story on this show, something that happened in your personal life, and you tell it to like somebody involved with the story, like when you fill somebody else in on the story, when you're doing your first tellings of the story, how often do you hear a different perspective of what you're going to tell? Like how often does that improve the story to you or like change your perspective on it?
Every time.
What's an example?
So the shampoo bottle story that I told in the episode that just came out.
Yeah.
The following day, like the first person I told that story to was my partner. And as I'm telling the story and I'm halfway through, they cut me off and immediately just said, "Wait, you had my shampoo bottle in your ass?" in disgust, which is an aspect of it that I never considered. I never thought about like that would be way worse than waking them up, that they now have my ass all over the bottle.
I've been putting
And I
that on
thought
my
that was-
hair.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to grab this bottle all the time that was in your ass now. Thank you for the kindness of doing that. So I was curious if you guys had examples of like different.
I'll say that like Emily, at least in my experience, is like a one-person comedy writing room. And so when I'm going through and like telling the Swan story or working it out, she'll be like, yeah, but didn't this kind of happen? Or like, don't forget about this thing. Or like in Go Go Now, she'd be like, oh, it was funny the way you said it this time. Be sure to say it like that. And I find it to be invaluable. Yeah.
Yeah, what is it they say about like when you tell a story, you're only telling it from like you're only telling the last time you remembered it. So like the more you tell it or like the more time between, it just gets less accurate over time. I find that a lot with, if I tell a story like 10 times and then I tell it for the 11th time and someone from the original moment was there, they'll add in stuff that I've forgotten. I'm like, oh, how did I leave that out? And it's so like overwritten by the other times I've told it.
It's part of why I'm having so much fun doing that other show with Gus is because we're retelling stories from like the early days of Rooster Teeth that we haven't told in years and years and years. And he reminds me of like entire events that I'd forgotten about, you know, just spun off of like one story. And it's like, it's awesome.
So that other show you do, I've been meaning to bring this up, is Anma. It's a podcast, ANMA. It has been such a delight to listen to that show.
Really?
I've really enjoyed it because I love you and we have this great friendship, but I also think you're so funny in content. And the thing, like, face, I don't listen to it at all, as we've covered for reasons that you displayed perfectly earlier in this episode. There's nothing that'll make you hate yourself faster than re-listening to something you're part of. I'm so thankful, Gavin, that you're willing to proof these for us. So I've missed seeing you in content and to like listen to a thing where you're so funny and it's such a relaxed environment for a show, and the friendship between you and Gus is so genuine. It has been such a joy to listen to that show. So I'd highly recommend anybody who listens to Face check out Anma. It's a great series, especially if you love Geoff.
Well, thank you,
And
Andrew.
you haven't been exposed to Gus, maybe if you're outside of the Rooster Teeth world.
He's a tour de force in his own right.
Can I a Gus thing that I feel like I keep meaning to bring up, and I'm so glad that this conversation led me to this thought. Before Break Shit started, we've done several of them at this point, nearly a year. I feel like the starting point of Break Shit was the fact that Gus has a fucking garage filled with baseball cards, and it has never been mentioned or searched for. What is this? Does he still have them?
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get those cards?
It's so funny. It's so funny you mentioned that because that popped into my head. I actually tweeted a photo earlier today. I'm trying to like consolidate all the face break shit stuff because it's just like in boxes around my house and in my car, and I'm trying to make some sense out of it because hopefully at some point we'll move into a studio that has a set that I can design and leave, because right now I have to tear it down and build it up and tear it down every time. It's a fucking transient nightmare. And that popped into my head. I'm like, oh, right. Doesn't Gus have like 40,000 baseball cards we're supposed to get? We just got to do it. Like at the time he mentioned it, I thought it would be fun to make a little docu thing about it and like document driving down there together and like make a little video out of it. But at this point, I just want to get him. You know, if he still has access to him, which I think he does. I'm glad you brought it up because I feel like it could be a huge and fun thing for us to fuck with. And it just kind of, like a lot of face jokes, it just kind of fell by the wayside for other stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to have an update for that. Or if you guys even just like recorded in a car, like on the road podcast. I don't know.
That would be fun. That would be really fun. And I haven't been down to like the town where he grew up. I used to go down there early on in our friendship and like spend the weekend with his mom and him and like, explore Mexico and stuff. Why are you laughing at that?
That seems. You would never do that now. That's so funny.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way. Well, yeah, the difference between being 46 and 26 is pretty stark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But weren't you still married back then?
Yeah, sometimes. I go away for the weekend.
I don't know why that's weird to me.
Yeah, you just be like, I'm gonna go spend 2 days with Gus's family. Yeah, I've done that a bunch of times while I was married. And then also I was divorced for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Nick had to do the Eric thing and tell us to wrap up.
He did. And I gotta say, there are times where like between recordings we'll be texting each other a lot. I don't know, at least from my side, it was very quiet. I think we're all busy the last week. This is nice. This felt like a really relaxed, like get together, catch up type episode.
Is it bad that
crazy
since it was mentioned, I couldn't think of a single nice thing to say about Eric?
Well, I would give you homework, but we don't want to do that to Andrew.
No, not again.
I was gonna say because I was struggling too. He's got a good. I like his fashion sense. I think he dresses well. I'm into it.
Yeah. Really?
He's got a good style. Yeah.
I think he's very fun. He reminds me of. He's older than me, but it's hanging out with him is like hanging out with someone when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice about him.
I will say one thing that I like about Eric is just the longevity of how long I've known him and in the different contexts, you know, because he was like, you know, he would like help out and was a part of Mega 64, which was like a group of peers in the internet space that we would do events with and stuff. And so we've known him for, I don't know, since like year 3 of Rooster Teeth. So probably like, I don't know, 15 years or something. But I knew him in the context of like getting a beer with him at a convention in Iowa, or you know, being next to like throwing T-shirts at him across from the aisle at Comic-Con or whatever. And it is so weird now that we make a show together.
Yeah, I mean the face as a whole. I think that it came together at all is a bizarre thing.
Yeah, he went from someone who I try to ignore as much as possible to someone I now listen to whenever he says anything.
I always thought that he was this is going to border on being too nice, but I'll be honest. I love that group, the Mega 64 guys. I love all of them in their own way. Although I love, no, I'm not going to pick favorites. I think they're all great, but I always thought Eric was the funniest among them. And I always thought it was strange. I was like, well, why is the guy that's helping him out is a little bit funnier than the rest of them. I wonder why that is.
He's my favorite. Like there's certain topics that he's like the person I will talk to you about. Like I was on Twitter the other day and I saw this thread where somebody who used to produce podcasts for the WWE left and was talking about that experience. And they said that Jeff Hardy has the worst Wi-Fi they've ever encountered and that he was wonderful, but just the most absolutely dismal Wi-Fi and just like, please get some better fucking Wi-Fi, Jeff Hardy. And I said that to Eric. It was just like the only person I know who I could send that to and have like a great conversation about. Of course, Jeff Hardy would have shit internet. Like it just checks out on every level.
I'll say that Eric is, he's really good at sending me funny hot takes during basketball games.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Game 4 or what? Yeah, 4. I can't count. We just did 4, right? No, it's 2-1. I'm sorry. I've been out of it.
What the fuck is wrong?
What are you talking about?
I game 4 of the series is coming
Friday
up
night.
and I discounted game 2. We're talking about the Celtics, Golden State Warriors in the finals. I couldn't believe they won game 1. Game 2 I didn't really care about because I felt like there was no way they could win. I did care, but you know what I mean? Like
no,
it felt
it's
like
a scheduled loss.
Yeah, and the fact that they've won game 3 now makes me think that they might actually win it all. So I'm very excited, but I also expect Game 4 to be a loss.
It's ludicrous to think that the Boston Celtics are 2 wins away from being NBA champions, and we're not a basketball podcast. We're a baseball equipment podcast. So I guess it's like there's an affinity there, but I don't want to get like too deep into sports because then everybody will be mad at us. Oh, you know what? We should probably end. Though, let me just tell you guys, I wish there was a funnier bit to it, but I got the new bike and it works great.
Oh, that's so awesome. Is it the seat any better for you?
No, it's the seat's worse.
No,
that's okay. That's okay. I just have to switch out. I'll probably have to make a few modifications. I'll probably have to change the seat, and I might change the pedals out for the ones that I'm using now because they're grippier. But yeah, it's awesome.
You know the shitty Instagram ads you get sometimes? It's like, hey, here's a box of goo. Put your foot in it and we'll send it back to us and we'll make you a shoe custom. Is there one for your ass? Like you could just sit in a box and it molds your ass and they'll print you a bike seat?
I would pay $1,000 for that.
For a custom
I would pay tuxedo money
bike
for
seat.
that.
You pay a pancake phone number money for that.
Have you ever seen the movie Safe Men, Geoff?
No.
The character Sam Rockwell in it has a fake ass. Have you considered getting an ass just for riding your bike? Like an attachable ass?
So I thought about like an episode of King of the Hill when Hank was having trouble sitting in his truck and his riding lawnmower. It was hurting and it was because his butt wore away and he had to get like butt implants. And I was like, shit, maybe I wore my butt off and I need to go get butt implants. So I went to the doctor. The doctor was like, you're a fucking idiot. And I was like, all right, this is why I don't go to the doctor.
You know, you see those time lapses in wildlife where like a river will slowly erode rock. It just time lapsed your ass as it got smaller.
Hey, I gotta go get the door real fast. Be just a second.
Oh, I feel like would have been good to already end it.
Why would you just wrap up the pod? Thank you.
Well, hang on. Now that Geoff's gone, that has reduced the amount of people in this to pleasantries amount. So you could just finish your pleasantries with Nick.
Oh, I felt like you don't. As somebody who's not part of pleasantries, that's not how pleasantries work.
I thought it works when you're not recording and there's not everyone here.
No, it's before it starts. The pleasantries lead into the show. The purpose of the pleasantries is that it like you have a conversation, you calm down, you have some laughs, and then you go into the thing. Pleasantries are great.
I'm back. Just unless to let you guys know. Continue with your pleasantries talk. Sorry, I had to get medicine for Emily.
Andrew doesn't want to do pleasantries.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's not pleasantries. You can't have pleasantries at the end of a show.
Well, but you guys do that. Like when we...
That's not pleasantries.
What is it? Post-trees?
It's post-trees.
Okay, well, you guys do post-trees, like the two of you, for hours, to the point where I thought you were doing a secret podcast. Like you guys are doing like a post show where you just make fun of Geoff for an hour. That's what goes through my head.
I think that started because my computer is so shit, it takes like 12 minutes for me to export, and everybody leaves, so I'm just sitting in the channel by myself, and Gavin was like, what's going on in here? And then it just became a tradition that Gavin comes back in as I'm exporting. We have a little talk.
Yeah, I'd say every single recording we have a 5-minute. Well, apparently it's not pleasant, but it's some sort of conversation, and then I leave.
It's definitely pleasant. It's just not a pleasant tree. It's not pleasant trees.
I think that's bullshit, dude. I think it's pleasantries.
I think it's pleasantries too.
I don't think pleasantries is dictated by when in the conversation it happens. I think
by definition of the spirit of the show, pleasantries is before the podcast starts. I think we have 100+ episodes where that sets when the time is. Maybe not pleasantries in the outside world.
What if there's a regulation pleasantries and what we have afterwards is deregulated pleasantries?
Can I say something I learned recently? Not all pleasantries are alike. You got to be very selective with your pleasantries.
You should talk about that.
That's there are sometimes you go into meetings and pleasantries can be disastrous.
I had a fun meeting with you guys that day.
It was a great meeting. I just I was around new people. I'm a social mess. Oh, it was awkward. I fucked it up so good.
Listening to Andrew try and have pleasantries with two people he'd never met or spoken to before and like trying to feel them out. It was so funny. I wish it was being recorded.
It was so awkward.
You were trying so hard. You were really you were doing all the work.
You can say a lot about me. I do try hard. That is consistent.
I will say one thing I've learned. outside of the context of face, where I do everything a little differently, I show up for every work-related meeting 3 minutes late, so I can avoid pleasantries.
It's a good way to go. It's something I've
different. It is a different animal outside of this podcast. Pleasantries.
It is. Yes, I learned that the hard way.
What did you think of my input in?
Nick says you want me to cut that.
No. Wait, what? Oh, Jeff's thing, not my thing.
Showing up 3 minutes late, so I don't have to do pleasantries.
No, I don't think that's a rude thing.
No, I just pretend to be coming in late from another meeting. They don't know.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you're just sat at your desk and then right before the meeting starts, or right before you join, you just run like 5 laps around your chair and you're like, whew, hey guys, sorry, I just come in half this other thing.
Yeah.
Every meeting you start on the phone with somebody else. Like you join the meeting and then you're just on a fake call every time.
Also, Nick is like, now they know. Here's the deal, Nick. No, they don't. No one in our company listens to this podcast. The amount of conversations I have to have where I explain the most basic shit about face to people is ludicrous. There's no way I could say anything I wanted to on this podcast, and it wouldn't matter in the context of the people that we work with, because they would never, ever, even on accident, hear it.
I've seen you explain to people at the company like what works about face, and then you'll go into a meeting a month later and explain the thing you were talking about. They'll be like, "Ooh, what's that?" It's like no one can bring themselves to delve in.
It's just like
it's a lot. It's a deep lore about nothing.
It's the face curse that it's not just the podcast. It extends to conversations and meetings too. Whereas like as soon as the meeting about the face thing is over, everybody else from every other department in the company, their brain toilet flushes too, and they're like, "Fucking don't need that."
I have been enjoying the weekly newsletter that's been coming out, the internal one that has to say that anal passage is the top seller of every of the merch store. Because there's everyone at the company just thinking, I don't even want to look up what that could be about.
Dude, I don't want to get too granular into sales and stuff, but let me just say that the face annual anal passage shirt it's near in 4 figures in sales, which is absolutely ludicrous.
So stupid.
I can't fucking believe it. I can't believe that in like 19 and a half years of selling t-shirts online through various productions, this like anal passage is approaching like top 50 for the history of the company at some point, I think. It's fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That also may not be true. It's just going off the top of my head.
No, that's great. Let's just claim it's true. That's fantastic.
It's like Bow Chicka Bow Wow, camping is a legitimate strategy, zombie plan, and the caboose shirt and anal passage.
That's a great lie. Like, even if it's not true, it's important to have good lies. I was talking to a friend recently, and they were in this dance competition that was like every school in this area competed. And they only read out the top 10 names of the thing. So one of the kids, as a lie, said they placed 11th because they only they only read 10. Like, nobody knows. I don't think they even ranked 10. But almost everybody in the group believed that they came 11th. Like, they genuinely thought that, and it got printed in the newsletter. And there are kids who lived like 20 years of their lives thinking they placed 11th in the finals of this dance competition, where it's like complete bullshit. So even if the anal passage shirt isn't in the top whatever you said, it's a great lie. Let's just go with that. We should probably wrap up, though. This has gone on way longer than it's supposed to.
Yeah, Nick tried to end it several times.
I was trying to cut it off at like the 40-minute mark, but it just kept going.
After the double trouble.
After double trouble.
Stupid.
I gotta say, I don't know what it is, but the last 2 episodes we've recorded, after I've just felt really, really good about until I listened to that one, episode 106. So I'll continue to feel good about 107 because I'll never hear it. But
Great.
I feel like this one was pretty good too. I feel like I've been enjoying.
It's very sweet.
Enjoying this little like phase of the podcast that we're in.
What is this phase? It's not really driven by a specific thing. It's just sort of a intermediary phase.
Yeah, just kind of relax, just catching up with each other. It's very genuine.
It's almost like a mid-season, mid-episode pleasantries.
That's a great way to put it. This does feel mid-season, mid-episode pleasantries.
I'm really excited to find out what constitutes a switch of volumes.
The volume is
you and me both.
I don't.
Yeah, that could be like a decade-long volume 1.
I've just been.
What season are we in?
We're in season 4. I've just been throwing volume 1 out to extend the title. But I do assume there will be a volume 2 at some point.
And as soon as that happens, we'll do volume 2 for a while, and then it will be revealed that it's like chapter 1 or something. Because we'll still be in 1 of something.
Edition 1. All right, let's stop talking to each other. Well, except for you two. You guys will continue to talk for a brief period of time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stop talking to you guys.
And Geoff, I won't see you in Vegas.
Gavin, I won't see you this weekend, but I hope you have a great time. I assume that because we're not spending time together in Austin or anywhere else, the weather will be lovely and you'll be able to swim and get some
42
sun.
degrees this weekend.
Yeah, eat some barbecue and do whatever it is you do, buddy. And Andrew, I hope Canada is pleasant.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be in Vegas next weekend.
Are you going to be in Vegas next weekend?
Yeah, I am. I'm not even.
What?
I'm in Vegas next weekend.
What?
In June?
Family trip. Yeah.
You motherfucker.
It's a family trip.
You're a liar.
You're a fucking
No,
asshole.
I'm not lying. I'm gonna
You're a liar. Are you
You're
serious?
such a little fucking liar. You
You
said
wouldn't
you
step
weren't going to America. You wouldn't step foot in America.
It's too soon.
It wasn't my choice, okay? It was a family trip that I didn't plan.
What do you mean? In the same month that we wanted you to go to Vegas?
It's complicated, okay?
On my birthday weekend, the week after Gavin and I were supposed to go to Vegas, we could have planned a big weekend together. We could have hung out with your mom.
I don't believe it. I think he's lying.
No, I'm going to be there for a week.
You're not. What?
June 20th. I leave June 20th. Probably need to schedule with Eric about recording, maybe. I don't know.
What?
I don't even.
Sorry. I didn't plan for it.
I don't even know what to say to this.
I was excited. I thought
Who
you guys
goes to Vegas for a week?
It was a whole thing with like apparently the tickets were like cheaper if we came back on a different day, and it would only cost
if you went with us would have been free.
Well, I didn't plan this. As I said, I'm just going on this trip. And I was really excited internally. I was very excited because I thought, oh, we might all be in Vegas at the same time, coincidentally. That would have been time.
Well, that sucked all my good feeling out of the mid-season, mid-episode pleasant.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to Vegas. Just making that. I was all joking. I'm just kidding.
God.
That wasn't real. I'm just joking. We might need to reschedule next week. But I'm kidding.
All right. Well, if somebody's got to end this, so let's stop doing this.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Like and review and subscribe, and tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell an acquaintance, tell a teacher, tell a parental figure, maybe tell a boss, tell an employee, tell a retail worker, brighten their day. If you go to an airport anytime soon, be sure to tell the stewardess and the flight attendant, I think as they're referred to now. If you go to McDonald's, maybe you see somebody with a shake, tell them, they're lucky, the shake machine's always broken, but tell them, hey, listen to Face. They talk about shakes sometimes. If you're a dog lover, tell somebody about Face. I don't know why. We'll see you next week.
In all seriousness, I'm definitely not maybe going to Vegas.
You are fucking
shit.
He's going to fucking Vegas.
Hey guys, Major League fan Jack here with a look at next week's episode of Face. Geoff has a new metal roof. The gang hits up eBay. The billionaires need help too. What is the safest mode of transportation? Geoff is a big Explorers fan. Gavin flips a coin. And once again, Andrew does not eat the pencil. All that and more on next week's episode of Face.